What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and I will say there's a company out there that a lot of people enjoy that's not having a great day, and that's Tesla. I will say this video isn't intended as hate to Tesla at all, okay, all you angry Elon Musk fanboys, but we've got to talk about the fact that they're apparently under investigation for their autopilot causing a lot of accidents with emergency vehicles. Yeah, that's right, the exact headline is, Tesla is under investigation because its cars keep hitting emergency vehicles. I know, quite a difference. Regardless, I figured we could talk about it, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so as I said, Tesla not necessarily doing too hot today, and that's because federal safety regulators are investigating at least 11 accidents involving Tesla cars using autopilots or other self-driving features that crashed into emergency vehicles when coming upon the scene of an earlier crash. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration said that 7 of these accidents resulted in 17 injuries and 1 death. All of the Teslas in question had the self-driving autopilot feature or the traffic-aware cruise control engaged as they approached the crashes. Obviously, I want to say first and foremost, it's tragic that anybody had to pass away from this. But I will also say, out of everything that the autopilot could mess up on, bro, crashing into the scene of an accident has to be one of the most ironic things humanly possible. The autopilot saw an accident, and was like, what is that, a car involving thing that's not talking about Tesla? Better get involved. I just don't really understand how your AI can confuse emergency vehicles as something to keep driving into. Obviously I understand that it takes a lot of time to code these things, but you would think that'd be one of the first things that they were really on top of. Alright guys, we really have to make sure that it comes to a stop when there's an emergency in the road. And yes, I understand compared to the amount of Teslas that are using autopilot, it's a relatively small number, but in order to get people to trust self-driving technology completely, you can't be having incidents where it's uh-oh, if we come upon an emergency scene, it might crash. That's not gonna make anybody feel more comfortable trusting self-driving cars, and it's not like many people are already jumping for joy at the idea of it. I mean, a lot of people are, but we all know the one dude who's like, I'm never letting anything drive my car but me. As for how it's affecting the company, I know they've had a great year, but Tesla stock fell 5% in morning trading following the news of the probe. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I don't think that Tesla is going anywhere. In fact, I would say, I'm not a financial advisor, but I got myself some this morning after it fell. I don't think it's going anywhere, but I can't necessarily fault people that have been in for a long time and might have massive gains for being like, all right, I don't necessarily know if I want to keep it here. It's not something that boosts investor confidence when your number one selling point, or one of them other than the electric vehicle thing, is autonomous driving, is now being investigated because for some reason it can't stop crashing into crashes that have already happened. I don't think that's necessarily great PR, and I'm not surprised that it negatively affected the shares of the company. And listen, Tesla's already been on a tear, so I do think we're at the point now where if more bad news starts to stack up, more and more people are going to take their profits. There are a lot of people that are up thousands of % on Tesla. And yeah, if more bad news starts to come out, it might be a situation where they don't dislike the company, they don't not believe in Elon Musk, but there just might be better places to park that money. And if that's the situation and investors start to pull out, it stops getting as much hype, then that also compounds with the stock price, yada, yada, yada. Obviously, that's worst case scenario, and I'm not a financial expert or anything. But I just do feel one problem is when you're on top of the mountain, when you're the company everybody's talking about, is everybody starts to come for you a little bit. The accidents under investigation occurred between January 22nd, 2018 and July 10th, 2021 across 9 different states. They took place mostly at night, and the post-accident scenes all included control measures like first responder vehicle lights, flares, and illuminated arrow boards and road cones. Tesla did not immediately respond to a request for comment about the probe. Yeah, it's probably going to take Tesla a little bit to get the PR team together on this one. This is definitely something that needs a very serious addressal. It's either going to be that or Elon Musk will just tweet at them and start beefing with them. It'll be one or the two, but I think for this one, Elon Musk probably should get together with somebody. I know they don't do any marketing, but somebody at the company and talk about how they should respond to this. Because this is one of those things that I feel if they just blow off is not going to help any more confidence that the situation already has. And obviously, it appears from like the way the article is worded that it has something to do with the way that the autopilot perceives lights at night, you know, as if like post-accidents lights confuse the driving features or something. But as I said, that's definitely something that needs a fix immediately. Tesla needs to have their coders and everybody that's hot fixing all this stuff doing this now. Like, there just really isn't an excuse for a self-driving car company that has issues with software that crashes into things that are supposed to mark an emergency. I like Tesla, as I've said, but like, you know, this is silly. If they can't get this together, there's really no point. Like, if you can't manage to make self-driving cars not crash into police cars or ambulances, I just really don't understand the future of the technology. I don't think that's something that a lot of people would prefer to be doing. It's not like, you know what would make today better? If I somehow got in the way of people trying to save another person's life. And yes, I do think it's entirely fixable. It's just kind of embarrassing for Tesla that this wasn't already something that was being fixed or had already been implemented, you know? I do believe in Tesla, but that kind of got egg on their face right now. The safety of Tesla's autopilot feature has been questioned before. The National Transportation Safety Board, a separate agency that also investigates plane crashes and other fatal accidents, found autopilot partly to blame in a 2018 fatal crash in Florida that killed a Tesla driver. Police in a Houston suburb said that there was no one in the driver's seat of a Tesla that crashed and killed 2 people in the car earlier this year, a charge that Tesla has denied. But Lars Moravi, Tesla's vice president of vehicle engineering, confirmed in April in comments to investors that Tesla's adaptive cruise control was engaged and accelerated to 30 miles per hour before the car crash. Tesla has been seeking to offer full self-driving technology to its drivers, but while it says its data shows using autopilots have fewer accidents per mile than cars being driven by drivers, it does warn current autopilot features require active driver supervision, and do not make the vehicle autonomous. Alright, obviously, I will say you are dumb if at the current stage you're not paying attention in your Tesla, like you have nobody in the driver's seat and you're driving. Obviously, that's just not a good idea. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm going to trust any fully autonomous driving software until stuff like this is fixed. Obviously, I understand that they have fewer accidents per mile, but if I'm going to trust a software with my life, I just don't want there to be a possibility of it, you know, being partly to blame in an accident or just going to 30 miles per hour with no one in the driver's seat. These are things that just can't really be an issue in this type of software. Like, there just shouldn't be a world where under any circumstance the software accidentally accelerates quickly when no one's in the driver's seat. Yes, people are going to be morons. I'm not going to deny that. There's obviously times where people are dumb, falling asleep in their Teslas, not paying attention. But because we know people are going to be idiots, you have to make the car a little bit idiot-proof. Especially in America where everyone's dropping lawsuits left and right, baby. People would be like, lawsuit. When talking about autopilot, when it works, which can be most of the time, it can be very good, said this man about Tesla's autopilot feature, but it can easily be confused by things that humans would have no problems with. Machine visions are not as adaptive as humans, and the problem is that all machine systems sometimes make silly errors. See, I'm all for automation, I'm all for smart things, I think that's great, but I think at the end of the day, sometimes we try to rush into these things a little quickly. I don't think that adaptive autopilot and cruise control and that stuff is a disaster. Obviously, I think it's like the future, but I do think it is relatively new technology and we've got to give it a lot more time to get better before we just make jumps to automating everything for the sake of automating it. Like, you know, we got to work out the kinks for a little bit longer, and I understand with AI and stuff like that, the bigger sample size you have, the better it'll be. But I just feel like we've got to give it maybe another year or two of a lot of people using the adaptive cruise control and taking that data to harness it into full self-driving. I get it, there's a massive rush, a lot of people want it, but sometimes I just feel like we rush into stuff without really thinking it through. I'm not trying to stand in the way of progress, I just think obviously there's some issues with this stuff running into emergency vehicles, and if we have that with the current system, I don't know if I would trust the update until that gets the patch, you know what I mean? But yeah, anyways guys, I think that's gonna do it for the video. I just felt like talking about this. I thought it was interesting. If you did too, I would really appreciate you pressing the like button, letting me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video, and subscribing if you're new and turning on those notifications. If you are an absolute G, you can use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout. It gives you a discount on the best energy drink, and of course, it helps me out too. Other than that, my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, can be found in the description down below. And along with that, you can find a link to the merch that's on screen now, which is very fantastic if you ask me. So, yeah, go ahead and check that all out. On that note, though, big thank you to all the members on the channel. I really appreciate it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I will see all of you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.